Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Happy opening day, folks. We made it. Baseball is back. Guess what? We get baseball every day until the end of October, and that's awesome news. If you're a baseball fanatic watching the show, then welcome. If you've never checked us out before, please check out the dynastydugout.com, where I put out daily written content. Be sure to sub to the YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. And even though it's Major League Opening Day, we're going to talk minor league ball because why not? Like, that's what we do at the Dynasty Dugout. We talk about minor league baseball. And I'm going to recap some of my backfield standouts from my trip to Florida. So if you've never been on the backfield, like, the backfield's an interesting place. It's basically like most complexes have 4 to 6 fields, and the fields are kind of like built around like one center area. So it's kind of like a circle, and 4 fields surround it. So you can get as many as 3 guys. I saw as many as 3 games going on at one time when I was over in the backfield. So I was in the Tampa area, so hitting different places. I actually did a lot of Bradenton, which is the Pirates. So, and then I also did some Clearwater, which is Phillies. So got several looks at different teams, and you see so many players, which also kind of creates a cool opportunity to kind of, stack and see how players stack up against one another is what I'm looking for, I guess. So like, you get to see them compared to a lot of other guys in one place. So it helps you kind of judge like these players and who they are. So yeah, I'm gonna talk some standouts from my trip. It's always unexpected. You never know what you're gonna get. Like, my first day, I flew in and I booked it. Like, my flight got delayed twice. So I was like booking it over to Bradenton. They're supposed to play the Braves that day. And I get there, and like, I get there right at start time. It's 1 o'clock when they're supposed to start. And nobody's there. It's like, it's just the Pirates and no Braves. So, sometimes teams won't travel. Like, things happen. They won't bring, it's just the minor league spring training schedule is prone to change. One day I was supposed to go to Sarasota, where the Pirates were supposed to be at the Orioles, but instead they change it. It's in Bradenton. So yeah, you just never know, but it's kind of what it is. Before we get started though, this show is brought to you by Connect Roasters, which is Ian Happ's coffee company. If you never tried Connect Roasters coffee, you are missing out. I have multiple cups each day. I have little kids, so I have to drink multiple cups of coffee a day to stay afloat. And Connect Roasters makes an incredible blend of coffee. Their Gold Glove blend with the Dynasty Dugout is 50% off, or buy one, give them 50% off. So you can go use the code Dynasty Dugout at checkout, or use the link below, and it'll automatically do it for you. This coffee is as smooth as Ian Happ's glove. And by the way, 3 straight gold gloves. So pretty smooth glove. The coffee's pretty smooth as well. Go check that out. Use the code Dynasty Dugout at checkout and get you a discount, and try the Connect Roasters coffee today. We're also happy to be sponsored by Chinook Seedery, the best sunflower seeds in the game. Chinook has a wide variety of flavors, and they are delicious. Just had some in Florida, getting some more coming in for the minor league season, so I'm looking forward to that. But you can get 10% off an order at the Dynasty Dugout, or at Chinook Seedery, using the code Dynasty Dugout. So go check that out and use that code, get you some great sunflower seeds. But let's dive in on all the standouts, kind of what happened on the backfields and what I took note of. So my first day there, as I mentioned, it ended up just being the Pirates. We had a nice inner squad between the Pirates and the Pirates. So it was fine. Like, it wasn't, what you hope to see. The Braves minor league isn't great anyway, so whatever. But Thomas Harrington pitched, so that was a surprise. You sometimes never know the lineups until you get there. Sometimes I can text people, get lineups early. That happened a couple days. We were like kind of texting people around different camps and be like, hey, who's pitching? What's the lineup? So we could figure out where we're going. But get there on Wednesday, like immediately, and Harrington's pitching. So he had not pitched since the beginning of March, and Major League Spring Training, everybody was kind of like, what's going on? So then there I was, and Harrington's throwing. He threw 3 innings on the backfield. He struck out 5. He was missing a lot of bats, and he should. Like, he's an advanced pitcher. He was sitting 92, 93, which is pretty typical of him. He throws from a lower 5'7" release height, gets pretty good movement, good ride, good glove side on his pitches as well. So yeah, I saw Harrington throw. It's a pretty deep arsenal of pitches with Thomas Harrington. What you see is kind of what you get, but he throws a lot of strikes. He pounds the zone. He hits his spots well. So, I look at Harrington, and he's always kind of impressive. So Harrington I think he'll pitch in the major league rotation soon. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if it's like, as soon as May, like him and Bubba come up together. Wouldn't shock me a bit. So Thomas Harrington should certainly be on your radar. But the other guy that immediately stood out, and I saw this guy play 4 times over my trip, like immediately from the time that I saw him, was Edward Florentino. Florentino, he was definitely on my radar before. And I'd actually written him up as a breakout prior to even seeing him. Why? Because the data in the DSL was so good. Like, I think we should always take DSL surface numbers with a grain of salt. So, like, take those for what they're worth. Grain of salt, DSL numbers. But the underlying, when we can get the underlying data, we can get the StatCast data, pretty important. So, Florentino, one, he's 6'4". He's a good athlete. And last year, like, his data was good. I don't care what he did in the DSL, but his surface numbers throw out the window. The StatCast, 86% in zone contact, sub 20% chase rate, and a 103.5 mile an hour ninth percentile. Like, that was already MLB average power at 17 years old. So I was looking forward to seeing him. And guess what? He played a lot. I got a lot of looks at him. He was really, really good. Florentino has a very good approach. Like, I think I only saw him chase a couple of balls out of the zone. Now, don't have the TrackMan for all those, but I was kind of monitoring some of the TrackMan machines behind the plate, and Florentino rarely chased. Like, he was one that, like, had a very good eye. I saw him take his walks. He also hit several balls hard. I saw him smoke a couple balls off the wall. He put several more in the outfield. He's a good athlete for 6'4" as well. So Florentino, somebody that I walked away and was like, wow, like, this guy is highly impressive, just given the frame, the athleticism, the feel to hit. He played some outfield. He played some first base. I think he's athletic enough to stick in the outfield. I mean, he just turned 18 years old. So all things considering, like, this kid looked the part. He got a $400K bonus last year in the 2024 class. So, I think that he had the pedigree, he performed, and he checked all the boxes that I look for when I'm watching a player. So, yeah, I'm very much in on Edward Florentino. I thought he gave me some really, really good looks. So Florentino is one that I think I wouldn't be shocked if he skipped the complex and went to single A. Also, the complex starts earlier now, so it wouldn't be shocking as well if he did go to the complex. But either way, this kid's going to pop, I think. He's going to be very, very good player. So that is Edward Florentino. Another one, I saw a lot of Enrique Bradfield Jr. in my time there. I saw him 3 or 4 games. Bradfield's interesting. I'd seen him before. He's small. I mean, he's not a big guy. He's listed, I don't even remember his list, but I know that he's way smaller than what he's actually listed at. That's for sure. But he can fly. There's no doubt about it. He laid down a beautiful bunt one of the first backfield games that I saw. He hit a sub 3.7 home to first time, which is elite. Like, that's blows 80 grade speed out of the water. Very strong contact profile, very strong glove in center field. I guess the question is the power. Like, what kind of power does Enrique Bradfield Jr. get to? And that's still kind of to be determined. So we'll see. But the good news is, like, he plays a great defense. He makes a lot of contact. He's going to make things happen on the base path. So I think he's the center fielder in Baltimore by midseason. So we shall see about that. Michael Burrows pitched as well one of the days on the backfield. He's had his struggles with injuries. I mean, he blew out in 2023. It had TJ. He returned to action last year, and he struggled a bit. Like, there was no denying that he struggled. He had a 5.26 ERA in 51 minor league innings, and he even made his MLB debut through 3.1 innings in the majors. Fastball sits 93, 95. It's 17 inches of vert, but a higher release height. So, like, Harrington's fastball plays a little better because it's a low 5.7 release height, and he creates pretty similar ride on it. But when you're throwing from a higher release point, the IVB is naturally going to be higher on it. So good ride in action, though. Those are really good changeup with like 15 inches of arm side fade, 2 distinct breaking balls. And he's always had good command, which did stick post TJ. Like, that's typically something that's slower to come back. But, I think that with Burrows, like, the strike throwing was pretty good last year. I take that as a major encouragement. So just somebody to kind of watch out for there. Burrows is MLB ready at this point. But let's talk about a couple guys who aren't major league ready because they were drafted last year by the Pirates, and that's Levi Sterling and Matt Ager. So one of those times when we were like, where do we go, was Sunday morning. And there was like quite a few backfield games going on before we had to be in Cool Today Park for the Braves and Tigers spring breakout. And I was like, okay, like we found out Levi Sterling was pitching. So that's where I went, because I was like, I'm not going to miss seeing Levi Sterling. And he was interesting for sure. I will put a caveat, like we had like 40-mile-an-hour gust of wind. So, and it definitely moved the ball. Like there's no doubt it moved pitches, because there was some TrackMan data that was just registering absurd. One of them registered 25 inches of IVB and 25 inches of horizontal. That's nuts. But anyway, Sterling was the main attraction. He was a comp pick last year. 6'4", typical, prototypical starter frame. Like this is the kind of a body you want to build for a starter. And he lands in a great pitching org too. It's a very low effort delivery. He set 93, 95 in his first inning of work. He kind of tapered down to 91, 92 in the second inning, but he throws from a lower 5'5" release height, and he creates really good IVB on it. It was 17, 18 inches pretty regularly. Like I said, that 25 was a major outlier. The others were 17, 18 inches, but really good arm side run. If you're watching the video, like he really can run the ball. It's impressive to see. So he averaged like 20 inches of horizontal. Was that due to the wind? Possibly, but at the same time, like I'm not going to discredit his ability because he spins it really well. Slider, he's spinning at 2,700 RPM. Curveball was in the upper 70s with 2 plane breaks. Slider was the low 80s. You know, the curveball had really good depth to it. Negative 60 inches of IVB. Some sweeping action as well. He even flashed a couple changeups. So a couple changeups at the 82 to 84 mile an hour range with strong arm side, as you might expect. Young 18-year-old, a lot to like here. Does he go to Bradenton to start? Probably. Like, I know Matt Ager is going to Bradenton. Don't know, confirmed about Sterling. He's a little bit younger, obviously, Ager being a college draftee, Sterling being a prep draftee. But either way, he'll spend some time in Bradenton this year. And Matt Ager's the other one that was drafted last year. He's certainly somebody that's worth talking about because he's interesting. Another one's a big frame. It's like, okay, like you can kind of see it with this guy. And the velo was not great. He worked 91 to 94. He had topped out in the 96 range in college, but he was definitely on the lower side when I saw him. High release point, good ride. You know, he was at 17 inches of vert, which, you know, working 89 to 91 in the start mostly was where he was. That's good vert from that velocity band, I guess. And slider was good, low 80s, missed bats. You know, he relied heavily on the fastball slider combo. He was hit around some, but it was a pretty good Orioles lineup that they threw out. And he threw a curveball mid 70s with like a 12-6 shape. So, you know, he was somebody interesting to watch as well. Keep an eye on him. You know, if the velo gets back in the 92, 94 range, then certainly much more intrigued there. We'll kind of see how that goes. One more Pirate before we move on to another team, and that's Wyatt Sanford. So prep shortstop they drafted. They had a really good draft last year, by the way. I thought they knocked it out. And, you know, the first game I saw Sanford, he came in the game late. He got one at bat. He fought off a couple pitches, ended up being hit by a pitch. But in the second game, I did see him get a full game, and man, that glove is good. He's silky smooth at shortstop. He's everything that you expect him to be or want to see from him. You know, his glove is probably the best asset of his game right now, but also very simple and sound swing, really good approach. He had wide stance, you know, balanced. He generated good bat speed, I thought. Simple toe tap, and the barrel just drives through the zone. I thought given his frame, which he's probably like 6 foot, he's stronger frame, though. The bat speed is good. Good lower half, good bat speed, good approach. I thought he recognized pitches pretty well, could take a walk. The power is still the question. You know, I think the contact's there. I think the glove's there. He's a good runner as well. I'm curious to see what Sanford can evolve into, but I do like the bat. I do think that it's kind of interesting. People have been kind of quick to knock my ranking of him, but he's top 10 in their system pretty much everywhere, so I don't really understand that. I get the gloves, the asset, but I do think the bat is good with Wyatt Sanford, so something to kind of keep an eye on there. A couple of Orioles to hit on, because there were some really good Orioles in my looks, and some that maybe not getting enough love. Starting with Jordan Sanchez, Jordan, however you want to say it. Heard it say a couple of different ways, But I did see Sanchez a couple times. So I really liked Sanchez. He was probably like my highest ranked of those DSL Orioles guys. They have a lot complex DSL guys, a lot of good talent. But he had a really good DSL and really good StatCast to back it last year. Big swings from the left side, though. Big power. He's got a strong frame, good athleticism. He took a Matt Ager breaking ball deep for a double, but he did whiff on a lot of breaking balls. Like, that was a little bit of concern for me with Sanchez, is that there was a lot of whiff. I was a little bit concerned by the amount of breaking balls he did whiff on when I got the chance to see him. That was the case in spring breakout. That was the case on the backfields. I think that the power's a lot of fun with Sanchez, but I'm kind of hitting the pause a little more than I was. I was thinking that he could be a potential breakout as he got to the complex in single A, but I'm kind of putting a pause until we see more data against good breaking balls, because that was where he struggled. Like, he got a healthy dose of breaking balls and he got a lot of whiffs, but big frame, good athlete, good pop. At least a fascinating prospect to keep an eye on. Stiven Martinez is another one. He's was a DSL guy last year. He's 17 still when I saw him. 6'4". He's got big power to all fields. He had a pretty big opposite field home run on the backfields in one of my looks. Last year, he had a 103.5 mile an hour ninth percentile at 16. That's MLB average. That's impressive. There were some contact concerns, and the athlete, and he played left field. Like, for a 17-year-old, I kind of wonder, like, is he going to have to be a DH? Still too early to say. He could evolve some things, but I thought Martinez looked pretty good for a player that's still very young in his development. He's someone that he has juice, no doubt about that. I mean, it was a pretty easy opposite field home run swing, like how he just took it and he just smoked it. So he's fascinating for sure. Keep an eye on Martinez this year. Still very young. So if he has some struggles stateside, I wouldn't be shocked. But the player I saw was one that's like, yeah, this guy could be really good. So another player that I really liked was Aron Estrada. He had a good year last year. He's been good since the DSL. I mean, you look at what Estrada brings to the table. It's a really good field to hit, really good on-base skills. He added some power last year, and he stole 39 bags. He's got good speed. And he's listed at like 5'8", 140. I can confirm that he's like 5'11", 160 probably. He's bigger than Enrique Bradfield Jr. for what it's worth. Enrique Bradfield Jr. is listed like, I think 6 foot, 160 maybe. I have to look to confirm. I do want to confirm that, so I'm not just making that up right here, but Aron Estrada was bigger than Enrique. Yeah, Enrique's 6 foot, 170 list. No doubt in my mind that Aron Estrada was bigger. And he looked good. Looked good in spring breakout. Really looked good on the backfields. The bat speed looks like it's gained. I saw Estrada last year. I think he's got more bat speed than he did. Hey, the power breakout was evident last year. He has a natural uppercut swing, generates loft. The ground ball rates have been an issue, though, at times. So we'll see. He had a couple hard hit balls. Yeah, I think Estrada could see his stock really rise in 2025. So fun one to watch for sure. And also Leandro Arias. He was very buzzy coming into last season. You look, and he's one where he was like, okay, major breakout appeal, and he was bad. Like, there's no really good way to put it. He was bad last year. Frame is much better than it was last year. He's listed 6'1", 155. He's bigger for sure. He was the hero of the spring breakout game. He had a walk-off hit, had another hit as well when he came in the game late. I think he's 6'2" at this point, probably. Really good frame. I thought the swing looked really good as well. So he's someone that I looked at and I'm like, okay, maybe we were a year early on Leandro Arias, because he's one where I walked away and was like, yeah, I think that there's some breakout appeal here for sure. So he's grown. He had a good looking bat. The bat path looked good. The swing looked good. I think that he's somebody to pay close attention to this year. It's Leandro Arias. Austin Overn might be the guy that people are underrating the most. I mean, he looked superb across all looks. His swing looks good. He hits the ball hard. I saw him 3 times. Very, very good. Spring breakout, he had a big triple, which was awesome. He had a long fly out to the opposite field as well in spring breakout. He's kind of like Vance Honeycutt light. He's got speed. He's a great athlete. he can hit the ball hard at times. He's a good defender. I think Overn is ready to take that step forward. So watch out for Austin Overn for sure. And a couple of watch list guys that on the Orioles are Nate George and DJ Layton. Layton was a 6th-round pick last year, if I'm not mistaken. Layton's a sneaky good athlete. I thought the athleticism looked good with Layton. And certainly when you look at the frame, it's like, yeah, this guy, I think he could be someone. He was 17 years old on draft day. Good athlete. There's tools there for sure. Good swing from both sides of the plate, kind of gap-to-gap power with plus speed. Good arm in the infield. Yeah, I'll bet on that guy. So Layton's one to watch, and also Nate George, who was not your typical 16th-round pick. I watched this film as a prep. I was like, yeah, this guy, how did he fall so far? He didn't do much showcase events, so 6 foot, 200-pound frame. It's strong. He's got a power stroke. He runs well. He had a 6'4", 60 in high school, which is absurdly fast. Good athlete, good reads in the outfield, good arm. Put him on your watch list. DJ Layton and Nate George. So let's step away from the Pirates and the Orioles. The Phillies and the Tigers didn't put out the best lineups, but I did see Mick Abel pitch. He was typical Mick Abel. Good stuff. Poor command. I mean, the strike throwing is just not great, but Aroon Escobar is the guy that you want. Edward Florentino and Aroon Escobar are the guys that probably impressed me the most. You look at those guys and it's like, yeah, I mean, you can certainly see the appeal there. I really, really like what Aroon brings to the table. He's smaller, he's stocky, but he's a good athlete. I mean, the power's there. He had a ball 110.5 in spring breakout. He smoked another home run off a lefty on the backfields. He has a really good approach. I saw him work counts, good feel for contact, and he looked good in the field too. Like, he made some really good heads-up plays. I think there's good juice in the profile. The combination of contact, approach, and power, I wouldn't be shocked to see him be a major breakout. I continue to like Carson DeMartini. His contact rates were borderline undraftable his junior year at VT. The Phillies took a chance on him. I think it might just work out. You look at what DeMartini has done. He made a swing change, though, in the video on YouTube. So if you're listening, go watch on YouTube. You can see the swing change right here that I'm talking about. And it's worked. The contact rates jumped substantially. His overall contact rate in college was 64%, 72.5% end zone. Like I said, it's bad. In single A, 104 trips to the plate, but still 80% overall, 85% end zone. I thought the contact skills still look good this spring. Facing better pitching, he's handled his own well. And I thought DeMartini's looked really, really good. He had opposite field home run in spring breakout. He banged one off the batter's eye in a backfields game. I really like DeMartini. And the final guy is kind of a watch list guy. That's the Tigers. Tigers didn't put out much at all. But Jude Warwick, I'm just kind of throwing on the watch list. 12th round pick in 2024. Prep player. Went to the same high school as George Wolkow. Warwick was interesting. They gave him a $250K bonus, which is about $100K north of the slot there, keep him away from his Michigan State commitment. He's a tall, kind of slender frame with a lot of projection on it. Listed 6'1", 170, but might be a little taller. Definitely could add some weight, but he has a really smooth swing from the left side. Good loft to it. He hits the ball at ideal launch angles, kind of dating back to his prep days. Pretty good athlete, good foot speed, good force plate testing in high school, which is like vertical jump, all those things. Like, he tested really well in those. So, like, just looking at Warwick, I'm like, all right, maybe put the guy on the watch list with Nate George and DJ Layton and see what happens. So those are some guys that just stood out from backfield games. I've recapped all the spring breakout games, so you can go watch those and check out all those. I saw hundreds of prospects last week, or when I was in Florida. So those are the players to note, and just they kind of caught my eye. So thanks for tuning in. Happy opening day. Enjoy your baseball. It's back, baby. We are back. We'll be back every day with you. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and sub to the YouTube. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you all.